talk a lot and think very little. In the end, they end up dead, shouting, "We really showed them."
What is it, Witcher?
Who is that girl?
Cynthia, a leashed sorceress.
A charming expression. Do you also use muzzles?
Leash means a connection between a sorceress and her assistant. An unfortunate term, I admit, but it explains how things are. Cynthia can tap my power, use my spells. She's a conduit. And she's learning along the way. It's convenient, and except for the name, not derisive at all. But you're not here to talk about Cynthia.
A sorceress like you ought to know bundles about the wild hunt.
A sorceress's knowledge has nothing to do with superstitions.
The hunt's not a superstition.
True, the phenomenon seems to exist.
I want to know everything there is to know about it.
It's strictly atmospheric. It doesn't interest me. Just as whirlwinds, whirlpools, and snowfalls do not interest me.
Have you heard about a witcher's school? Apparently the Viper's their sign.
No, why do you ask?
The Kingslayer wears a medallion adorned with a viper.
Pretentious and childish for my taste. He can't be very smart.
Is what they say true? Did Saskia kill a dragon?
Prince Stennis decorated her for it at the court in Vengerberg, so it appears to be true. If you want to know the details, talk to Biggerhorn. Apparently he witnessed it.
How is it that King Radovid's court sorceress and advisor is supporting a rebellion in Edirn?
This has grown into more than a simple rebellion, Witcher. Prince Stennis' arrival here confirmed Saskia's right to represent Edirn.
Saskia isn't fighting for Edirn, but for the Pontar Valley. Even Prince Stennis considers you rebels. He hasn't moved against you because war with Kedwen hangs by a thread. Why are you here, Sorceress of Tretogor?
It is my duty. If Henselt occupies the Pontar Valley, Redania and Temeria will respond strongly. The North will disintegrate, its unity gone. A dark scenario that is nevertheless avoidable, provided Saskia is successful and wins the Valley's independence.
Even if she thwarts Henselt, there'll be no independence without agreement from Redania and Temeria.
Temeria's expansionist plans melted away with Foltest's death. Redania's ruler is unpredictable, but even he'll have to respect a victory. I'm here to make this victory a fact.
You said we'd need a magical object to cure Saskia. Any ideas where I might start looking?
Magical items do not grow on trees, as you know. Luckily, this area has a long history. There's the Battle of Wraiths, the site of Sabrina Glevisig's death and suffering, the abandoned mines.
I was hoping you'd be specific.
I won't ask you to traipse around with a divining rod, but please try to be a little inventive. Ask the locals, that's always a good place to start. I dare say Alderman Burden knows every last stone in the area. Maybe you should see him.
Medallion's vibrating.
The Witcher 2, Assassins of Kings, Chapter 2. This is Iorveth's Path. This video contains the quests, Hunting Magic, Harpy Contract, and the Queen Harpy Contract. For this guide in particular, I've been trying to kind of just keep it to one quest per video. Usually, if I'm doing all kinds of different things in one video, it would the video will be much longer than it needs to be.
Philippa can produce an antidote.
As opposed
She
to,
needs
say,
magical
maybe
effect.
one 30-minute video. It can be
Would you
3
like a
separate
film and a
10-minute videos,
dancing
and
worm
it
to
would
go
be
with
just
it?
fine. This one, on the other
I don't know
hand,
about
you
magic,
have
but
no
there is a
choice.
place.
All 3 quests basically
As
get
long as I
done
can
at the same
remember,
time,
it's been
except
of
for the
interest
Harpy
to
contract. You
sorcerers.
can miss that to some
There's a very
extent.
strong intersection.
And by miss that, I
Look
mean
for
you just
magic
have to go
there.
back to
Where
the
exactly
area
is
that you
there?
were
Seek out
at
the
the end of
ruins
this
the
quest
forest
to
beyond Bergen.
finish it.
There's a place of power there. You can't miss it.
But it wouldn't make it
Once
any
it's gone,
shorter.
Saskia's a tough girl. She'll bounce
Because
back. Keep your
to
head
get
up.
to the Queen Harpy, you basically have to go through all the stuff that...
No, Witcher. I thank
Basically,
you.
there's just one
Save
path
that
for the
lass.
Harpy contract.
Save my town.
I mean, quite literally, a single path you walk down, not like a choice. There's quite literally one path you have to go. And if you want to do the Harpy contract, you'd have to go through it. For this quest, you have to go through the exact same path. And there is no reason to separate them into different videos. So, yeah, for the Harpy contract, you're going to need 7, at least 7, just in case. Maybe get 8 or 9, just in case. Harpy traps. You can get the blacksmith to craft them. The blacksmith I'm referring to is the one near Philippa Eilhart's house, which is, I believe, where I started at the video before I started talking. Like, the guy behind him, behind Geralt at that point, I believe, would craft the traps for you. You do need a bunch of silver ore for it. That's an item that I seem to usually be lacking. It's not an item you tend to find just in the wild, at least in my case. I found a few pieces when I went through the mines, but I found mostly iron ore at that point. So, if you watched my last couple videos, or if you're playing this part of the game, and chances are you've been here before. This is the last time I go to this area, so yeah, so this time we now go up. If you don't know, for this quest we're looking for a source of magical energy. Just an object that naturally kind of produces magic. But it needs to be a really powerful one. So this area tends to have a lot of harpies. Now, there's kind of an offshoot of harpies that I believe Cecil Burden tells you about. I forget the exact name of them, but they essentially eat dreams, and that sounds like magic to me, because they're also crystallized. And I believe Geralt makes a remark, or it's in the journal, that that's the closest thing resembling intelligence he's really seen in a monster. So, looking for these dream crystals seems like a pretty good idea for a source of magical power. The problem is, the one in that nest just to his right is not powerful enough. So then you need to go into where the main harpy nest is, which is in the gullies. If you've been down there, you know that giant locked door? You're gonna go inside there now. And another thing is, I don't believe my silver sword is particularly strong at this point. I don't think it's been upgraded since chapter 1. Or, like, near the end of chapter 1. I might have gotten a second one at some point, but I don't remember at this point in time. But I still do okay, and everything works out fine. So, also, if you have not done the Sack Full of Fluff quest, you're probably going to have enough harpy feathers after this quest to complete it. You fight a lot of harpies in this section, and then you don't see very many. So, as soon as you get the crystallized dream, return to Philippa Eilhart's house, and then she'll tell you that you did the wrong thing, to some extent. It's not that you got the wrong object, it's you got something that doesn't have enough power. Like you got the wrong size battery or something.
I found one of the
Probably not a
ingredients for
good analogy.
Saskia's cure.
Show me.
There's also those dialogue options of
Interesting. Getting
handing in
warmer,
the other
but
objects.
still not there.
You don't have to bother
It's as
with
if
those.
I'd sent you to get me the sun and you'd brought me a candle.
Hmm.
We need something massive, an item of real power, Geralt. This is a dwarf's dream. Stolen and magically encased in this crystal. It would do if it was stronger.
You know what this means? In addition to normal harpies, there are Solano in the area.
Solano?
Dream snatchers. The only harpy species to develop something resembling intelligence. They magically bind dreams to mountain crystals. I heard they once inhabited this area. Solano live among regular harpies, but their lair should be
Yeah, this
full of
is
stolen
when
dreams.
Geralt
One
kind of
those
figures
would
out
be
what he
enough,
really
I'm
needs
sure.
to do to
You'd have to
get
enter
the job
the Harpy
done.
lair through the quarry. Unfortunately, the gate to the caves is locked and Cecil Burton
Also,
won't open
if
it.
you haven't been doing a lot
I
of
asked
side
him on
quests in
another
this
occasion.
area,
Stubborn
and when you're
as a
talking to
mule,
Philippa,
that one. But we must not relent.
don't,
Saskia
or
clings
just
to
in
life
general,
by
if you haven't
thread.
done most of the side
Let me
quests,
show
don't
you
look
the desire
into
contained in this
finding
particular
Triss
dream.
at the moment.
Don't be hasty to judge.
That kind of
I can
sets
feel it.
some
Whose
chain
dream
of,
is it?
Cecil
like that kind of
Burton's.
starts a chain of events that kind of
In that
rushes
case,
you
I
to
need
the end of
see
the
the
chapter.
alderman. Got a feeling he just might
So
open the gate for me.
you may as well do all the other side quests like dice poker and stuff first before you start going into that. Assuming you want to. If you really don't want to bother with that stuff, then don't bother. I've seen a speedrun of this game on this difficulty. I believe the time was like 2.5 hours, and that was when when dark mode was originally patched in. So side quests, not always important, but they're not bad to do. I'm a little more of a completionist as opposed to like a
No
speedrunner.
chance.
I know all about the harpies.
So
They
I
steal
always go for
dreams,
doing all the side
collect them.
quests, or as
I
many of them
found
as
one, but
you
it
can
proved
possibly
too
do.
weak for our purposes. I need a stronger one. So I'm asking you nicely. Open the damn gate.
Listen, Witcher. I want Saskia to recover, I do. But don't
You're
ask me to
gonna
turn this
kind of
town
just
into a
extort
circus just before we
Cecil
battle the Hensells.
into
My
or giving you the
grandfather
key,
locked that
the
gate for a
key
good reason.
to
Imagine if
the
we could all go in
gully
there to
door.
look at those dreams. Dwarves, peasants, their scoia'tael,
That
Adernian
doesn't
nobles
sound right
even.
for sure.
All seeing the desires of others. Terrifying. It would be the end of Vergen.
Yeah, well,
What's more, legend has it the oldest stolen dreams can become reality. And I don't want nightmares stalking Vergen's back alleyways come nightfall.
Open it. I'll make it quick.
Stop pissing me off. You're acting like a drunk suitor. No means no.
Alright, so
No, don't know if I should mention this.
after
but the dream I found
you're
belongs
done
to you.
talking
What are you
here,
talking about?
this is when you want to
Embarrassing
prepare
affection, I
for
imagine.
the Harpy
Now, even
contract
something of a
quest.
Political liability in your case. Some might even call you a
If you
freak.
don't have the diagram for the
The
trap
elder-
already, I believe
ages-old
the
tradition
blacksmith that
vested in
crafts the
On top of
traps
that,
for you
you now
will
lead the
also sell you the
preparations for Vergen's
diagram.
defense.
Very convenient. He also usually has enough
Imagine
silver
your
ore for
ancestors carved in
most of the
stone.
traps you need.
Condemnation, not pride.
I think.
On their bearded faces.
I mean, you only need 7,
knows?
so really
Maybe
most
you
would
keep
be
your office.
3 or 4 at that
You'd
point.
be the talk of the town for ages. Your
But
nephew,
you should
kid,
probably have a couple lying around. If
I
not,
promised Scalen's mother I'd be so
buy
busy
as much
judging
silver ore as you
the
can from him.
days.
And if
I
it's
aim
still
to
not
keep
enough
my
to make
word.
7,
I don't give a damn
go back
about
to the inn,
ages of
meditate
traditions.
for a
And
full
piss on
24
loose
hours,
talk.
and then just go back. And I think
You're right.
I believe
I cannot
the
confirm
shops
my
restock
findings
every
or not.
24 hours
You
for
must
the
bury
in-game
this
clock.
thing. The secret
So-
dies with you, never to be spoken aloud. Understand?
I believe I'm
I do.
not sure if I have the
Thanks,
traps
Cecil.
at the moment or not.
Good
I
luck
might,
staying sober.
like, before this video is made, I'm not sure if I have it or not. I wouldn't be surprised if I went and made them beforehand. We'll see. Excuse me.
What's this? Clad in hues of green.
I wouldn't mind a close
Okay, so I am actually
Catch
buying
browse
the
through my
traps in this video here. It doesn't take much to make a harpy trap. It's the silver ore is the most difficult component to find, and every blacksmith will sell you a couple. They don't usually have a lot on you, but I think they're always guaranteed to have silver ore, at least one piece. So you're going to need to equip the Harpy trap in your quick slot item. For the keyboard, that's the R key. For the 360 controller, I have absolutely no idea. I've never played this game with a controller. I kind of don't intend to, just because I got used to how this game works on a keyboard and mouse. This is just me taking the actual contracts. I don't think that part's actually necessary, but you can do it anyways. So yeah, the two contracts they're basically mandatory to complete to finish the hunting magic quest. The Harpy contract, not exactly manual, but
get as drunk as a lord.
Why's that?
They stole it. The plowing bird stole it. My dream is gone.
like there's enough harpies in the area that. Oh,
Night after night, I dreamed of my dead
okay,
wife.
Harpy contract
For
is not
years.
actually mandatory
Let's
to
go for
complete
some liquor.
to finish the hunting
Harpy.
magic quest. It's a really good idea to finish it because it's just on the way, because there's only one path to take. And I don't mean like moral choice one path, I mean it's a linear path from this point. Also, if you didn't realize that the villagers outside of town there, the three that were talking, they were talking about how one of them, how he got his dream stolen. I believe they only show up when you have that quest, like when you're going to fight the Queen Harpy. So, also, if you have not done the quest, A Sack Full of Fluff, maybe look into it after you kill tons of harpies in this next area. Okay, so every time you see a nest, and then when harpies show up, place one of the traps. You're going to see one of the harpies go and take the trap and fly away, and then you should see the nest explode, or hear it. If you don't see or hear it, I set the Harpy contract as my active quest, so I saw the little number of nests destroyed 0 go to 1, so I knew that the nest was no more. Most of the nests are usually within like plain eyesight, like you don't really have to look too hard for them. Good thing though, if the harpies don't actually take the trap, you can pick it back up and put it back in your inventory. You don't need, like, when he plants it, it's not there permanently. Yeah, that nest there should explode. There we go. So yeah, if you see that happen to a nest, then you got it. If you hear that happen, if you hear the explosion, you got it. If you see the number increase, you got it. Also, all three of those things happen at the same time. So yeah, it's pretty much just whenever a group of harpies attack you, lay a trap, and chances are they're going to take it back to the nest, and it's going to explode. Also, you don't really fight harpies after this. If you do the Harpy contract, I believe the gully basically just becomes devoid of enemies. Wait, void isn't a word. Nope. Devoid's totally a word. I think I used it incorrectly. Oh no. Entirely lacking or free from. Yeah. Area will be completely devoid of harpies at that point. You might find the occasional harpy. I believe the ones that eat dreams, which are the ones that have kind of crystals or crystals kind of coming out of their arms, or it looks like they're wearing some sort of really bad makeshift armor on. I believe those ones do not despawn when you destroy the nests. I believe they will always be around. And you still might find it. You still find a few harpies in some areas, especially surrounding the gully here, or quarry, whatever it is. Those definitely don't go away. But I've got 4 of the nests, if that preview window, I'm reading it correctly. The other 3 are actually past the door that you need the key for. So if you've done this part already, this is where the other 3 nests lie. Past the door there. Excuse me. So yeah, this is a area with a very narrow path. There aren't many of these. Most of the areas are much more open. Now, the nests in this area are actually much easier to miss. In this video, I do not miss them, so if you see me plant a trap in this video, it's in a place that you should put one. Now, there's also another item that you need, that you should get while you're here. They're dream crystals. They're what the more intelligent harpies steal, and I believe they eat them. You find, I believe there's 4. You find 4 lying around in the cave, and you get one. You find one right before you fight the queen harpy, I believe. So yeah, there's 5 in total. You only need 1 of them. I don't know which one it is, but it starts another side quest called Baltimore's Nightmare, which makes sense. It's the dream of a man called Baltimore, a dwarf in this case. But that side quest will be done in a couple of videos. That doesn't sound good. That sounds being picked up on the mic. That's my external hard drive. I'm really worried about this thing. It's, I believe this is the 5th year I've had it, and I've only kept it around for mass data transfer, being these recorded videos, and I'm afraid that this thing's just gonna kind of crap the bed one day, and then all these videos kind of go bye-bye permanently, because there's no backup of the, like, that's the only source of these videos. I mean, I still have the save files for The Witcher 2, so I could always go re-record everything. Dan, come on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure when a hard drive makes this kind of noise, that we should replace it as soon as possible. Yeah, I really need to get a second one as the backup for this one in case it falls apart. Probably transfer some stuff over to my actual computer hard drive that I use to make these videos. That might be a good idea to do, just in case. Well, whatever happens, happens, I guess. You know what? I got at least five good years out of that thing. I've made a walkthrough for The Witcher 1, working on The Witcher 2, Mega Man Battle Network 1, Mega Man Battle Network 2, Mega Man Battle Network 3. I recorded 4 and most of 5, so that's about 7 games for one hard drive. all the unedited footage of Witcher 1, Mega Man Battle Network 1, 2, 3, and a lot of the Witcher 2 raw video that does not exist anymore just because I don't have that many external hard drives. I only have the one. And Fraps uses just so much space for videos because they're not compressed. Yeah, I have 6 of these 7 Harpy nests destroyed. There is 1 remaining. So yeah, the final nest here is near that Kedweni soldier. And then all that remains is to fight the Queen Harpy herself. And the, I don't know, like 10 other Harpies that show up to help defend her. You'll see, the next fight has probably way too many people in it for this tight of a space. And that there was the final Dream Crystal. I don't remember which one's Baltimore's Nightmare. You may as well just grab them all. They're not super hard to find, but you can definitely miss them. Actually, I will look up which one is Baltimore's Nightmare. Baltimore's Nightmare. Oh, Harpy. The location Harpy there. Dream crystals. Silver. So make sure you at least get the silver Dream Crystal. Outside of that, I don't believe you really need the other Dream Crystals. I'd still take them just in case. And also just, they're not hard to find.
Guess they'll never learn.
Also, the color I mentioned, I believe, is the color you see out in the actual game world as opposed to the inventory screen. In the inventory screen, it just, I believe they all have the same icon, but in the game world, clearly they glow different colors. So go by those. Seriously, this hard drive noise is really starting to freak me out a little. Yeah, right there I'm just showing that I have all 4, or showing that I have 4, I guess.
The head of a king.
So that funky device,
You know where. She'll give you
that the Harpy threw the crystal into is actually a dream projector. So Geralt's actually watching this happen.
You'll go unarmed, in common clothes. Try to sneak through unnoticed, but if anyone asks, you're bringing the witch some sausages.
You can see it a mile away, and it stinks of vinegar. I'll have to find a thick sack.
Go on, quit complaining. There's no time.
So you have to watch that cutscene. You can actually watch it again later. So now you're going to have to fight the Harpy Queen. I decided to use bombs for this fight for the most part. Mostly just because I don't really use them too often. The Harpy Queen shows up as soon as you take that dream crystal. Now, now that's the one that I believe you use for the cure for Saskia. Now, the reason I use bombs is because this is a very close quarters area, and the bombs tend to have a decent explosion radius that, especially if you hang out in like if you throw them into like a doorway, chances are you'll hit a bunch of things. If you use the swordsman path, if you have the, I believe it's the whirl ability, that's the one that lets you do damage to surrounding enemies. If you have that fully upgraded, your sword strikes do full damage to every enemy you come in contact with, regardless of if they're your main target. So that would be really helpful in these areas too. I mean, as long as you don't get swarmed by these guys, by that I mean you stand in the middle of God knows how many, you should be fine. I'm using like only free equipment that you get. So now that everything's dead, check out the dreams, go back to Philippa, give the dreams in, and then go talk to Cecil Burden and get your rewards for killing all the harpies. I'll see you all in another video.
Eseth mahon, tal este impedon, eloranneth Iorveth, feredein mahon, hel daumas.
You're as beautiful as an elf, my lady.
Come to me, my hero. Let's fuck in the barn.
Ah, the luck. To think I wanted to play dice with the others.
Call them too. It'll be lovely.
By the gods, they're closer and closer. They'll not catch me. To the witch. They'll not find it there, over my dead body, horsets. You'll never fathom Master Baltimore's secrets. It's not far now.
The head of a king. Take it to Sheila. You know where. She'll give you coin and further orders.
Heavy. How am I supposed to carry it through the forest? I won't be able to draw my sword.
You'll go unarmed, in common clothes. Try to sneak through unnoticed, but if anyone asks, you're bringing the witch some sausages.
You can see it a mile away, and it stinks of vinegar. I'll have to find a thick sack.
Go on, quit complaining. There's no time.
Were you looking to get rid of the Harpies?
Aye, the flying rot.
I've destroyed their nests. They won't be returning anytime soon.
That's what I want to hear. You deserve a reward.
Job done. I'm here for my pay.
You killed the Harpy Queen. In that case, you've earned your coin.